Welcome to the Calm Mind podcast. Reduce the noise and create more calm and harmony with my guided meditations. How to master meditation in the quickest and the easiest way possible. Part 4. Welcome to part 4 of How to Master Meditation. If you missed the others, you can access them in the show notes. I will provide the link for each one, part 1, part 2 and part 3. Today is the final audio in the series. I hope that you've enjoyed the others. In today's podcast, I'm going to show you how to handle inner dialogue and chatter masterfully, and I'm going to reveal the most powerful secret and a few great methods that will help you become a master level meditation expert in the shortest amount of time possible. Let's start with the clear your mind syndrome. At some point during the meditative journey, almost everyone encounters the dreaded mind. And even before they start meditating, most people are cautioned, they're warned, or they're instructed to clear your mind. Most people, including many instructors and teachers, end up turning the mind into an enemy that they have to fight against, resist, or try and shut down. And this is the exact opposite of what you should be doing. Yes, I'm very much aware that earlier in this audio series, I did say that the purpose of meditation is about cutting down on the mental noise in the inner dialogue so that you're able to access that deeper place inside of yourself. However, your primary focus should not be to clear your mind, because doing so is almost impossible, especially if you focus directly on doing so. So of course, if you can quiet your mind, that's wonderful, but don't try too hard to do this, because the mind is such a thing that the more you try to quiet it, the more you try to resist its thoughts, the more prevalent and persistent it gets. As I touched on earlier, your only job during meditation is to observe, without the need to judge, label, analyze, or change anything. And when you let go of the need or the desire to judge, label, or analyze, mental noise and ego simply evaporate. Let's look a little bit further in how to block out the mental noise. So let's talk about how to handle one of the most common challenges that most people deal with when trying to meditate. Almost immediately after you start meditating, you will find that your mind begins to wander off. Thoughts come into your head, and before you realize it, you're going to be lost in reflection. Sometimes you may catch yourself quickly, and other times 30 minutes or more may pass before you realize that you've been thinking about everything you shouldn't. So the question is, how do I stop the mind from wandering? How do you stop the endless thought streams that come flooding in as soon as you close your eyes? The big secret is to start observing your thoughts. Yes, it's as simple as that. The concept of observing your thoughts may seem a little bit weird at first, but it is quite heartfelt and straightforward. You see, most of us are so caught up in our thoughts all the time that we start thinking and believing that we are our thoughts. I'll just let you think about that a minute. Most of us are caught up in most of our thoughts, and we start thinking and believing that we are our thoughts. Many of us also think that we are also our minds, which is not true. You are not your mind, and any negative thoughts that come to mind do not define you. You are the energy that controls your mind and thoughts, and that is the beginning of freedom in your mind. It is so easy for our negative thoughts to take over our lives, and the more we label, analyze, and judge, the more we separate and isolate ourselves from everything and everyone around us. This is one of the reasons that meditation is so important. So how do we observe our mind and our thoughts? We don't do it by fighting or resisting it, as I mentioned earlier. We do it by allowing it to be. We give up the need to change what the mind is doing, which is what it has always done, think thoughts. And by allowing our mind to do what it loves to do, and by simply observing each new thought as it comes into our mind, we take the power away. Because what you resist will only persist. So by allowing each new thought to come floating in freely and simply observing what that thought is, we get out of its way so that we can continue floating out and away just as quickly as it came in. As soon as you notice a new thought pop into your mind, you could get the feeling of, there's another thought. And this one is about the bills I have to pay. Okay, I will let this thought be without interfering with it. Just observe and see what's next. Of course, you won't be saying those words, nor thinking those words specifically, but that is what you're feeling and sense as you observe each new thought that comes floating into your mind. Just simply observe and let it be. Don't judge, don't analyze, and don't resist. Just watch each thought float away just as quickly as it came in. And as you start to do this, you will be in more control of your mind rather than your mind controlling you. And also, as you continue to do this, you will notice that fewer and fewer thoughts are flooding your mind. Fewer thoughts are coming in. And very soon after, you will get to that deeper space of tranquility, peace, and stillness. And this is where the magic happens. The only way to get there is just to be and observe anything or nothing as it unfolds during your meditative practice. And the more you do that, the more you just practice, just observing and being, the more tranquility you will experience and the deeper you will go during meditation. During all of these deeper states, remember only to be. Enjoy what is, and the more you experience the space of stillness, you will enjoy the benefits that it will offer to your health. Let's now cover the question of time. One of the challenges that I mentioned earlier in the series was the I don't have time dilemma. And I've also alluded to the idea that ultimately time is irrelevant when meditation is concerned. Also, if you remember, I promised to show you how to start meditating during your regular day if sitting down formally and closing your eyes to meditate was not an option for you. I also mentioned that you can meditate for 1 hour for 1 second. When done the way that I show you, it doesn't really matter. And finally, if you remember, I advised that if you didn't have time to meditate because your life is too busy, cluttered, or chaotic, then you have to start meditating. So let's talk about this a little bit further. And I'd also like to share one more meditation technique that will address the I don't have time issue. Because the length of time doesn't matter. The reason being is because the space of stillness itself that you're entering during meditation is timeless. Time does not exist there, nor does it have a location or an address. Now let's discuss the alternative meditation method that you can use if you don't have time, space, or the privacy to sit down and meditate. I call this method the mindful meditation, and you can do this just about anywhere as you go about your day. If a scheduled sit-down meditation twice per day is not possible for you, the mindful meditation will be a great substitute. You achieve this by simply bringing awareness into whatever you are doing during your awake state. So you simply focus your full attention on whatever it is that you're doing by being present. Give your full attention to what you are doing without analyzing the process. So you simply focus your attention on whatever it is in front of you right now without judgment or criticism. Within the process of being fully present, you begin to create space around you that is similar to what you would achieve in your sit-down meditation. Now, here's the great part. You can do this when you are shopping or in the office, even when you're brushing your teeth at home. You simply give full attention to whatever it is that you are doing. And with a little practice, you will be able to feel and sense the underlying stillness anywhere, at any time, even if you're in the middle of chaos. And that's kind of the point of this practice, to be able to be still or meditate when you're awake and out of your quiet, private space. You are becoming aware of the stillness outside of you in the physical world by becoming aware of and connecting with that place of stillness inside of you. That's the secret to this conscious meditation. These little moments of being fully present in what you're doing, or just being still and aware wherever you are, may not seem very significant to you right now. Still, they are very compelling and they're very transformative. And the more you start to bring tiny bits of awareness and presence in your life, as often as you can during any given day, the more you will begin to transform your day and your experience and your life. Before I bring this part 4 episode to an end, let's explore the question that we started with. And that, remember, this was the question in the first series, the first audio that I did, and that was what is the true purpose of meditation? The real purpose of meditation is to simply practice it often. Practice sitting in stillness and just being. Whether you do the formal sit-down meditation, present moment meditation, walking meditation, or guided meditations, just practice being still and being. I hope you enjoyed this 4-part meditation audio. Thank you for listening to the Calm Mind podcast. If you enjoyed this hypnosis or guided meditation, pop over to my website, Zoe Mind Coach, where you will find bundles available for sale, as well as my online training on stress reduction and self-hypnosis. If you enjoyed this meditation, please leave us a review. Pop over to iTunes and leave a review. The more reviews I get, the more that this podcast gets seen and heard. This podcast was brought to you by Mabe Media. a podcasting platform for powerful female voices. If you have been thinking about starting a podcast, then look no further. Mabe Media will guide and support you to make that dream a reality. For further details on how you can connect with Mabe, check out our show notes. Thanks again for listening, and make sure that you are following us on social media, and see you next time.